Chapter 41 The Weapon Used by the Dou Zun. You are listening at novelfull.audio. 700 gold coins. The guardian duck laughed fiercely. The benefits brought by the ice crystal cold jade can no longer be expressed in words. If they can be obtained by people from the 8 major families, it will definitely improve their own blood. Thereby advancing to a higher level. If it can be promoted to the god-level bloodline, then no matter how much money is spent, it is enough. Feng shrugged his shoulders, his sharp eyes flickered with coldness. He didn't want to offend that force, but he didn't want to miss such a good opportunity either. Under the dilemma, Feng could only be forced to give up. In this world full of killings, the Douchi continent is a paradise for the strong and a hell for the weak. If you are not careful, you may become the target of public criticism. As the saying goes, a man who knows current affairs is a hero, and he doesn't want to offend the Hall of Souls until he is absolutely sure. However, the Heavenly Snake Mansion didn't care about that much, and directly asked for a price increase, 720 million gold coins. 750. 800 million. The two sides began to rob each other, and they were bound to get this piece of ice crystal cold jade. Ye Fei smiled and reminded the importance of this item, so that all forces can participate in this auction competition. Only in this way, the pavilion master can earn more money. Under the reward, there must be a brave man. The emperor of the Izumo Empire, Izuya, was also attracted by the ice crystal cold jade, and immediately raised his number plate, saying, 850 million gold coins. It's an astonishing price. Ye Fei smiled charmingly. Izuku King offered 850 million gold coins. Is there more? 900 million. The corner of Guardian Duck's mouth twitched, and the teacup in his hand was almost crushed by him. This group of lifeless guys dared to confront the Hall of Souls, and they didn't know where the courage came from. However, he also began to hesitate. The next auction must be of the pinnacle. If a lot of gold coins are spent here to bid, the next auction may not be successful. The original money was put on the blood-colored old ghost, but who would have thought that he would be killed directly? And Neji was also taken away by the people from the Dengtian Pavilion, and now he is still ashamed. Guardian Duck smacked his lips and said, since you like it, I'll let it go to you. The Warcraft Mountains have proven successful in killing people. If you have the opportunity, just kill them completely. Not only will you not spend a penny, but you can also get ice crystal cold jade. Why not do it? Besides, in the entire Dengtian Pavilion, except for Pavilion Master Li Xiao and others, no one is his opponent of the 3-star Dou Zun, and it is easy to kill and steal. Ye Fei seemed to have guessed what those people were thinking, and said with a smile, everyone, no one is allowed to fight privately within the 50 miles of the Dengtian Pavilion. Anyone who violates the order will be punished. The protector, who was still thinking about how to kill better, suddenly changed his face, and turned his head suddenly to look at Ye Fei who was on the crystal platform. He was quite shocked. How could this girl know what he was thinking? Could it be that she can read minds? 900 gold coins once. 900 gold coins twice. Is there any further price increase? Ye Fei smiled softly. Is there any higher level, for example, 950 million? Ye Fei looked around at the boxes. If there were no more boxes, she would be given the hammer. Then, 900 million gold coins 3 times, deal. Let us congratulate the guests in box number 900, who paid, million gold coins for the ice crystal cold jade that can improve the bloodline. A smile overflowed from the corner of Ye Fei's mouth. Let's take a look at the third item in the auction. This is a weapon, which is said to have been used by a strong Dou Zun. Hearing this, everyone in the field was amazed. The weapons used by the Dou Zun strongmen were at the lowest level. If you can meet a high-level person, you will make a lot of money. Ye Fei clapped her hands lightly, the crystal table below her body shook violently, and a dazzling light burst out, covering the entire auction. They didn't see the true appearance of this weapon until the light faded. Immediately, a golden long sword suddenly appeared in everyone's sight. The sword was 4 feet 3 inches long, 3 inches wide, and the handle was 1 foot 2 inches long. There is a blood-red spar inlaid on the hilt of the sword, but if you look closely, you will find that this is not an ordinary decoration, but a magic core. It must be named Jinglian sword. It was originally a high-grade earth-level weapon. According to legend, this thing was the weapon of King Vajra 3 years ago. Because of the passage of time, the sword suffered damage and fell to the primary level. But what surprised us the most is that its hilt is inlaid with a magic core of an 8th-rank peak monster. Its strength should not be underestimated. With its own strength, it can reach the point of leapfrogging challenges. Xiao Yan murmured, the magic core of an 8th-rank peak beast, doesn't that mean that the magic core on this sword is a Dou Zun peak powerhouse? Yes. Yao Chen said, I have the honor to hear the name of Venerable Vajra, but that was a long time ago. The Venerable King Kong was originally a casual cultivator, but because of the robbing of resources, he offended several major forces, and finally fought against each other for 3 days and 3 nights. Relying on his own strength, he killed 3 Dou Zun and 1 half-sage. Seriously injured, he sat down on the spot. Hearing this, Xiao Yan couldn't help being horrified. He didn't expect that this Vajra Venerable was so powerful. I'm afraid only the teacher knows how powerful a semisage is. With his Doushi realm, he is not yet qualified to spy on that level of powerhouse, but being able to come to Dengtian Pavilion can be regarded as an eye-opener. Everyone whispered and asked about the situation of the other party's weapon, but the conclusions they gave were that it was impossible to spy. Medicine Emperor Han Feng said, Miss Yafei, the weapons used by Dou Zun will consume a lot of fighting energy every time they use them. I'm afraid no one below Dou Zun can use them. I'm afraid we can only store it when we take it back, and whether it can break through is also a big problem. Yafei smiled and said, Don't worry, my master personally adjusted this golden gang sword. I use the reputation of Dengtian Pavilion as a guarantee. The fighting spirit required by the golden gang sword is extremely rare. It only needs to reach the level of Douhuang the realm can be used. As soon as these words came out, the audience was in an uproar. In this way, even Douhuang can use this weapon that was once used by Dou Zun, so he can't directly hit Douhuang. Han Feng had the answer in his heart. As expected of Dengtian Pavilion, the auctioned items are so precious. I am afraid that this is the only place in the world where these items can be auctioned. Even in the Zhongzhou continent, it is unlikely that anyone can take out the weapon used by the strong Dou Zun, and the original value of this sword is at the upper level of the earth. End of this chapter. Chapter 42 Yun joins the auction. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Yafei smiled, and seeing the stunned faces of the crowd, she became even more certain in her heart that they couldn't wait for the auction. Li Xiao, who was sitting on the 4th floor, shrugged, lightly pressed Lianshue's head, and watched the auction in front of him. Lianshue's pretty face was flushed, but she didn't stop the movement of the pavilion master. Tell me, how much can this weapon be auctioned for? Li Xiao asked gently. Lianshue coughed dryly, wiped away the water stains at the corners of her mouth, and said, according to my subordinates, this Jinglian sword is a high-level earth-level weapon, and the minimum price is more than 10 million. Even if a pharmacist obtains the top-grade magic beast magic core, it will benefit a lot. Hearing this, Li Xiao nodded, quite agreeing with Lianshue's explanation. The value of the 8th-rank peak monster core is already very high. Although the original value of the magic core has been damaged due to the passage of time, it does not delaying the alchemist's auction. Li Xiao put down the teacup in his hand, picked up the exercises on the table, and smiled. Use it for the last lot. Lobby, Yafei said softly, are you ready? Then the auction will officially begin. Earth-level low-level weapons, the Golden Gang Sword, the starting price is 300 million gold coins, and the price will increase no less than 30 each time. Please do what you want. As soon as the words on that stage were finished, the people below immediately started bidding, which was very lively and extremely fierce. 350 million gold coins. I'll pay 400 million. 500 million gold coins. The gold and silver in the mortal world are of no use to this group of powerhouses, and naturally they can't miss something good. If weapons of this level can be obtained, it will be like a tiger with wings added, and it can leapfrog challenges, which also adds a bit of self-confidence. This weapon is mine, let's see who of you has the guts to snatch it from me. Yuan Yi, the master of the 8 gates, yelled loudly, and immediately stated that this golden gang's sword belonged to them, and if anyone snatched it, it would be an enemy of the 8 gates. 1,000 million gold coins, that the price was already twice as high as the others, which made Douhuang, who was still trying to give it a try, chose to give up. The price of 1,000 million was beyond their expectations, and they couldn't even afford to go ahead with the auction. Everyone sighed. Who can compare with the strong in the Blackhorn domain? Their background is the deepest, and they are not short of gold coins. What's more, Yuan Yi, the master of the 8 gates, is also a Douhuang and the owner of the auction house, with quite strong funds in his hands. It's a pity that another treasure has appeared, and it will be photographed by this group of rich and powerful people. Alas, why can't we take it down? Don't worry, there must be good things. This auction will be much stronger than the last 2. If we can take down one item, it will be enough for us. But they may have forgotten one thing. They can't afford this lot, let alone the next few. The words of Yuan Yi, the master of the 8 doors, completely ignited the flames in the field. It's just a first-tier 2-star Douhuang, who really thinks that he can do whatever he wants, and they can still afford it with a mere tens of millions. Since the master of the 8 doors likes it so much, let's get involved too. Hibari sneered, 2,000 million gold coins. He also took a fancy to this weapon, so naturally it is impossible to just miss it. Money is just something outside of him. How can he be afraid of the strength of the 8 sects when he is a powerful Douhuang peak powerhouse? If it is Han Feng, the Emperor of Medicine, maybe Izuku will think about it. After all, Han Feng is also a 6th-grade pharmacist, so it is not a clear move to offend him. Help him practice a few pills. Han Feng fanned the iron fan in his hand, smiled and said, Brother Yuan Yi, it's not a good thing for you to be so eager and friendly. The other party will take this opportunity to tease you. From this point of view, it is enough for you to bring everything to you. I squandered all the gold coins, don't forget what our purpose is. Speaking of this, there was an icy chill in the eyes of Medicine Emperor Han Feng. The main purpose of bringing a few people here this time is to join hands for the auction. If he still does his own thing, then don't blame the uneven road. Yuan Yi, the master of the 8 gates, was blushing. Although he was a 2-star Douhuang, if he got this golden gang sword, his strength would definitely be comparable to that of a peak Douhuang. In this way, there is no need to be afraid of the threat of the Medicine Emperor, but Han Feng seemed to have suspected what he was thinking, so he directly reminded him not to continue the auction, otherwise, he would be regarded as their enemy. I didn't expect Brother Yuan Yi to like it so much. Then, we 2 old guys also come to join in the fun. The gold and silver elders looked at each other and smiled. 25 million gold coins. With the addition of these 2 old things, Yuan Yi, the master of the 8 gates, was completely suppressed. He thought he had no ability to contend with these 2 old things. Chu Yunk's face was solemn. He had heard about the gold and silver elders. They joined forces. Even the strongest of the Dou Zun could fight, let alone himself as the Douhuang. The corners of the gold and silver elders' mouths curled up. This weapon is bound to be obtained. Sovereign, whether we need to fight or not, this golden gang sword is very suitable for you. I just felt the breath of this magic core, which is very similar to the martial arts and fighting skills you cultivated. If you get it, your strength will definitely be upgraded to another level. On the side of Yunlanzong, Elder Yunling asked Yun what he thought in a low voice. If possible, they also wanted to take down this weapon. Yun's weapon is only at the middle level of the mysterious rank, and compared with the ground rank, the difference is vast. Yeah. Yun nodded her head, her beautiful eyes moved slightly, just like what Elder Yunling said. What they lack the most is a good weapon. Although this golden gang sword does not completely match her fighting spirit cultivation method, but it is also very close. After thinking over and over again, Yun decided to give it a try. 28 million gold coins. Just as several forces were chattering, the Misty Cloud sect broke the farce. The Skylark, the gold and silver elders, Han Feng and others all turned their eyes to Yun who had a beautiful face. The gold and silver elders sneered, "Little girl, you are Yun, the suzerain of the Misty Cloud sect, right? I'd better advise you to stay out of your own business, otherwise, your Misty Yun sect will be overwhelmed." That doesn't bother you too. Yun is also a strong woman, and she leads the sect to become the strongest with her own strength. How can her heart be held back by a few words? Humph, I don't know the so-called woman. The gold and silver elders snorted coldly, but licked their lips, staring at Yun's figure with a lewd smile, with her fair skin, beautiful face, charming pupils, and that proud heart. Even these old guys couldn't help but want to taste her. End of this chapter. Chapter 43 Auction Burning. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Seeing that Yun was so obsessed, the gold and silver elders didn't bother to continue talking nonsense, and simply raised the price again, not believing that she still had the ability to carry out the auction. 3,000 gold coins. Everyone's expressions finally changed. Unexpectedly, these two old men would directly ask for 3,000 million gold coins. This is a huge sum of money for any power, but it is like a joke in their hands. Yun's beautiful eyes paused, and her chest gradually rose and fell. Elder Yunling looked at him even more angrily, but he didn't dare to make any complaints. Whoever said that the strength of these two people is at the peak of Douhuang, and they are even more powerful than Dou Zun when they join hands. Even if you have the courage to dare to be an enemy, when he first met Niu Meng, he thought that the other party was just a fighting emperor, but later when he heard the suzerain said that the other party's strength was in the Dou Zun realm, he was afraid for a while, and his life was almost ruined because of his own words. The old suzerain is not here at present, otherwise he can compete with several people for some points. Sect Master. We. Yunxing asked with a serious face. Although the Yunlan sect can get 3,000 million gold coins, there are still higher-level treasures in the back. If the competition continues, I'm afraid it will do no harm to the next auction. Yun naturally knew in her heart that after thinking about it again and again, she could only give up the golden gang sword. Their goal was the last treasure. Seeing that Yun had given up, the gold and silver elders couldn't stop laughing, their eyes full of contempt. Ha ha ha, I thought the Yunlan sect had a deep foundation, but after looking at it today, it's nothing more than that. Where is Yunshan? Why don't you see him coming? Are you scared? Presumptuous, our old suzerain is currently in retreat, and when he appears again, he will definitely amaze the entire fighting spirit continent. That the gold and silver elders wanted to raise their hands to teach this ignorant old man a lesson, but thinking of the rules of the Tiange Pavilion, they could only silently put down the right hand that was about to be raised. A small person. It is impossible for their seniors to do it themselves. In the end, the gold and silver elders successfully bought the golden gang sword with 3,000 million gold coins. People discussed privately, with high enthusiasm, and they were all looking forward to the appearance of better treasures, when the base price of the next things will become more and more expensive. Some people have chosen to give up, and some people are still struggling. Soon, a magic core of an 8th-order monster appeared. The whole body was emerald green, and there was a sense of vitality. Whether it was the pharmacist or the emperors, they all showed a greedy look, and then a few fighting emperors and pharmacists were angry. Competition. After learning the price, the younger generation can only watch and not participate. First, the price is expensive, and those few emperors are fighting. It is not good for the younger generation to participate, because they are in the imperial capital, and the various clans also have some affection. In the end, this 8th-order magic beast core was successfully photographed by Mulan San, the emperor of the Mulan Empire. There are still 2 different treasures left, and everyone's excitement has changed accordingly, and they all want to see what the last treasure is. Seeing that everyone's mood has calmed down, Yefei took out a book of exercises on the cabinet. When they saw this scroll, everyone's expressions unconsciously turned weird. Could it be that this is another ground-level fighting skill? They have seen many ground-level fighting skills auctioned by Tiange Pavilion, so they don't have any expressions of excitement, but since it can be placed at the end, it must prove that it is unusual. Yefei opened the scroll and said softly, "This thing is called Fenju, a low-level Huang class." This sentence caused everyone to cast contemptuous glances. Isn't this teasing them? The lower Huang rank, I'm afraid even a doshir is too lazy to practice. What kind of medicine is sold in the gourd of Pavilion Master Li Xiao? Miss Yefei, you are teasing us. Huang Jia fighting skills, you are teasing us. Do masters are too lazy to practice. That's right, Miss Yefei, hurry up and change it, it won't be interesting. However,
In the auction, there were two people who were already stunned, namely Xiao Yan and Medicine Emperor Han Feng. Both of them knew what Fenju was, and both knew how much that thing was worth. Xiao Yan in the black robe said in a low voice, "Teacher, are you sure there was only one volume of Fenju?" That Yao Chen was also stunned by the scene in front of him, and he was stunned stupidly. You must know that in order to get Fenju, he had a narrow escape from death. Other traces, but what is the past now? It is an unnamed exercise obtained by Yao Chen in the ancient cave. Later, Yao Lao named this mysterious exercise Fenju. The original Fenju was only a low-level exercise of the yellow rank, but it could be advanced by devouring different fires. Because the price of promotion and achievement was too high, Yao Lao didn't practice it himself, nor taught it to his disciple Han Feng. Although it is powerful, Yao Chen doesn't want to see the only disciple walking on this path of unknown fortune and misfortune. That's why Han Feng was not allowed to practice it, which caused the mental distortion of Han Feng, who had been raised since he was a child, and joined forces with the old man Magoo of the Soul Palace to plot against Yao Lao to seize Fenju. In the end, Han Feng betrayed, Yao Lao also fell and became a soul body. Thanks to Yao Chen's strong soul and the coldness of bone spirit, he was able to preserve his soul and sleep in the ring, but now there is still a volume. Whoever it is, I am afraid it is difficult to accept it. Ye Fei opened her mouth and introduced. Don't be impatient, everyone. The strange thing about this kind of exercise is that it is evolutionary. The evolutionary performance is that this kind of exercise can evolve infinitely by devouring different fires, and eventually even surpass the heavenly rank. The nameless exercise of the unknown creator was originally a low-level exercise of the yellow rank, but it can evolve infinitely by devouring different fires. The ancient Emperor Tuasha became emperor tens of thousands of years ago because of encountering this volume of nameless exercise. Medicine Emperor Han Feng jumped from the chair and started, feeling horrified, "It's really Fenju. I didn't expect that old man to abandon Fenju. No wonder I didn't find him." There was an uproar. All the alchemists stared wide-eyed. Is this something they understand? There are such outrageous exercises in the world. Guardian Duck also cast a horrified gaze. In this way, this exercise only needs to absorb the strange fire infinitely, and then it can be promoted to the heavenly rank exercise. Their soul palace also knows the locations of several different fires. If they dedicate them to the alchemist of the clan, the strength of their soul palace will not increase. Now that everyone has heard it clearly, let's stop talking nonsense. The starting price for this book of low-level yellow rank exercises is 1,000 million gold coins. Although Fenju has the highest starting price at present, it still can't resist the group of crazy strong men, and some people are even willing to spend all their belongings to win this Fenju. If successful, promotion to Emperor Dou is just around the corner. Emperor Tuasha can do it, so can he himself. End of this chapter. Chapter 44 The Almost Crazy Medicine Emperor Han Feng. You are listening at novelfull.audio. 2,000 million gold coins. Han Feng was the first to increase the price, and threatened, "Everyone, this book of fighting skills and exercises is taken by Mr. Han. If everyone who knows current affairs is a hero, Mr. Han will thank you very much, and what do you want, Mr. Han? If you don't share, you will be rewarded accordingly." If it was in the past, these people would absolutely not be able to refuse such a good offer. The promised gold of a 6th-grade alchemist is as high as shoulders, but it is different now. The other party has already made it very clear in this book, once they get it, they will be promoted to the realm of Emperor Dou. Greed has already blinded everyone's eyes. In order to advance to a higher level, everything can be given up, including the verbal consent of the 6th-grade pharmacist. 4,000 million. 5,000 million gold coins. Hearing the price increase again and again, Medicine Emperor Han Feng was already furious. These bastards who were blinded by lard really thought that they could suppress themselves with money. Don't forget, all he brought were friends who were auctioned together. If they were all gathered together, let alone the final auction, even the last item would definitely be won. However, Han Feng thought a little too much. The experts from the Black Corner region who were still supporting him also participated in this auction. The attraction of Fenju was too great,
if you can really advance to the Dudi realm, what's the point of offending a 6th-grade pharmacist? Moreover, it is naturally impossible for the strong in the Black Horn region to promote Han Feng to a higher level strong, otherwise if you want to find him for alchemy, but it is not so easy. You guys, Han Feng's pupils shrank suddenly, don't ask me to make alchemy in the future. 8,000 million gold coins, in order to get the complete Fenju, Han Feng has reached the point of insanity. Now that he finally meets it, how can he miss it? Even if he tries his best, he must go all out to win Fenju. Xiao Yan's eyes were serious. Teacher, what should we do? Yao Qin sighed, there is no other way. With our financial resources, we are no match for this traitor. Fenju will eventually fall into his hands. It's just that I didn't expect that Tiange Pavilion knew the value of Fenju and was willing to auction it. Who is Li Xiao? Teacher, haven't even you heard of Pavilion Master Li Xiao? Yao Qin shook his head and said, I've never heard of it, even if it's on the mainland. He's not from a few big families, but even the big families may not be able to take out the items for auction. The story behind Tiange Pavilion really makes people more and more curious. As the venerable Yao of the Douqi continent, Yao Qin exhaled helplessly, but he did not expect that Han Feng would finally be able to get Fenju successfully. How could the Dharma protector of the Soul Palace just ignore it? He also accepted this exercise. 100 million gold coins. Hearing this sentence, Han Feng said almost madly, Guardian, what exactly do you want to do? As long as you hand over the Fenju to me, I can do anything, even if you let me be an ox or a horse. Guardian Duck sneered, Jia, Han Feng, as I said before, no one can snatch what we are looking for, and those who are sensible give it up as soon as possible, otherwise, you know what the consequences will be. Impossible. Han Feng betrayed because of Fenju, and now he can finally meet again, and he will never miss it again, so what if he offends the Hall of Souls? 5,000 million gold coins. Han Feng planned to smash the pot and take out countless high-level pills from the Neji, each of which was worth 1 million. It is conceivable how far he has gone insane. Gritting his teeth, Han Feng was furious, and said almost crazily, no matter how much you increase the price, I, the king of medicine, will always be 1,000 million more than you. Presumptuous. Guardian Duck slapped the table hard, Han Feng, how dare you? Yafei reminded softly, everyone, all the things inside the Tiange Pavilion belong to the Pavilion Master, no damage is allowed, otherwise you will face huge compensation. Hearing this, Guardian Duck stopped suddenly when he was about to smash Han Feng's hand with a cup. If so, then spare his life first. I've said it before, this Fenju is mine. Han Feng shouted hoarsely. Regardless of his image, the forces in the Black Horn region also cast contemptuous glances. Is this the Medicine Emperor? It's too impolite, but the price is ridiculously high, probably all the money on Han Feng's body. Seeing that the price has reached sky-high prices, the gold coins carried by Guardian Duck are not enough, so they can only turn their attention to Yafei. Miss Yafei, I don't know if I can get credit with my status as a guardian, that the powerhouse of the Soul Palace is well known, and the soul race behind him is an existence that is beyond the reach of everyone. He can't think of any reason for the other party to refuse. Offending the Hall of Souls is not a clear move, however, Niu said indifferently, if you have no money, get out. Tiange Pavilion does not accept credit. That when Protector Wu was still immersed in the joy of preparing to win Fenju, but when he heard the words of Niu, the manager of Tiange Pavilion, the expression of Guardian Wu changed drastically. They didn't expect that the other party would reject them, so they were not afraid to offend the Hall of Souls. Your Excellency, I guarantee that as a law protector, I will return all the principal and interest after 1 year, and there will be absolutely no delay. Otherwise, if you offend our Soul Palace, there will be strong people coming to ask for an explanation in the future, and I hope you who know the current affairs will be heroes. Otherwise. Before he finished speaking, a violent chill appeared behind him. Guardian Duck turned around tremblingly, only to find that a frost arrow was aimed at his head, and after a closer look, it was the same frost arrow that killed the blood-colored old ghost in the Soul Palace. If you talk nonsense again, your head will move completely like that old thing. The corner of Guardian Duck's mouth twitched, and his clothes were already wet with sweat. In front of this ice arrow, he actually felt a deep sense of powerlessness, as if he had no way to fight against it. Lianshue's fingers moved slightly, and the frost arrow disappeared. Negotiating conditions with Tiange Pavilion, without looking at how much you are, what is it, using the title of Soul Palace to oppress them, isn't it courting death? If Emperor Huntian came, Tiange Pavilion would not necessarily give him this face. Here, Li Xiao and the rewarded attendants are invincible. Guardian Duck could only sit back on the chair resentfully, with a haggard face, but the seed of hatred had already been planted, and the Fengju Soul Palace was bound to be won. Even if it was photographed by Han Feng, he would naturally snatch it back in the future. It's not time to get what they are looking for in the Soul Palace. Han Feng was relieved to see that everyone did not increase the price. He slumped on the chair and got the Fengju. Any effort was worth it. If the exercises are gone, you can find them again. Fengju is gone, but it is really gone. End of this chapter. Chapter 45, The Remnant of the Pure Lotus Demon Fire. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Even if he offends the people of the world, as long as he can get Fengju, he has the hope of devouring other strange fires, as long as he is given enough time, let alone the Soul Clan, even the other 7 big families will not be considered. 150 million gold coins. 5,000 million gold coins twice. Is there any further price increase? Ye Fei smiled softly. Is there any higher level, for example, 6,000 million? Ye Fei looked around at the boxes. If there were no more boxes, she would be given the hammer. Then, 5,000 million gold coins 3 times, deal. Let us congratulate Han Feng, the medicine emperor in the 3rd box, who successfully won the Fengju, which can be upgraded infinitely, with 5,000 million gold coins. I wish the medicine emperor an early promotion, that there is only the last lot left, and it may be more powerful than Fengju, not sure. All the people in the field focused their attention on where Han Feng was, and their eyes flickered at this moment. Like many lightning flashes, no one would want to miss this kind of exercise that can promote duty. As long as they are given enough time, they will naturally become the existence to defend the entire continent. In fact, they have never thought about this situation at all. To swallow the strange fire not only needs the 3 kinds of treasures, but also needs a high-spirited and indestructible spirit, because once they fail, it will be too late to regret. The only thing waiting for them is death, death swallowed by strange fire. Before the last auction started, everyone began to rest, but Pavilion Master Li Xiao did not appear in everyone's sight. Obviously, he wanted to let Ye Fei take care of everything. Ye Fei came to the room on the 4th floor, and saw that the Pavilion Master was tasting the cakes she made, with a smile on her face. Unknowingly, it has been almost a year since she came to Tiange Pavilion. During this time, she has been practicing hard every day. Although she is not talented enough, with the help of the Pavilion Master and several sisters, the strength is also advancing by leaps and bounds. Directly promoted to the realm of Fighting Master, it can be described as rapid progress. From then on, Ye Fei developed a different disposition toward the Pavilion Master. Thinking back on what a stupid decision it would have been if she had refused, Li Xiao turned her head, moved her fingers slightly, and a cup of warm tea flew in front of Ye Fei. It's time to work. Drink some water to moisten your throat. Ye Fei nodded, took the flying teacup, drank the tea in it, and the hot feeling in her throat disappeared at this moment. Thank you, Pavilion Master. Ye Fei saluted. No need to be polite. Li Xiao smacked his lips and said, the next last lot is up to you. I won't sell it myself this time. If possible, it's best to raise the price. Ye Fei cast a puzzled look. What did the Pavilion Master mean? The main reason why Li Xiao asked Ye Fei to raise the price was because of the previously auctioned Fengju. Fengju needed to devour the different fires to evolve, and the next items corresponded to the different fires, so naturally there will be people who can't resist the temptation and will increase the price. Ling Long helped Ye Fei tidy up her clothes, and said softly, relax, your auction level is higher than mine. Sister, you're being polite. Concubine, you didn't dare to take it too seriously. No problem, you should take a good rest first. the auction will officially start in half an hour, then just follow what the pavilion master said, and ignore the rest. If someone makes trouble, we will solve it ourselves. Linglong smiled sweetly. Ever since she heard that the pavilion master liked her smile, Linglong had changed her character. She always had a chill in her body when dealing with outsiders, however, when you treat your own people, your personality will change accordingly. I see, thank you pavilion master, thank you Linglong sister. Yefei turned around and sat on the chair, adjusted her breath. Naturally it is impossible not to be nervous when auctioning treasures in front of so many strong people, the sweat of the palms will prove it. Bingshuang stepped forward and injected her fighting spirit into Yefei's body, thus relieving her restless mood. Dou Zun's vindictiveness was extremely terrifying, just a little bit. Yefei was relieved as if she had taken a reassurance, the whole person also exhaled heavily, and his body felt much more comfortable. Thank you sister Bingshuang, sorry for your trouble. You're welcome, you and I are both working for the pavilion master, we don't have so much talk between us. Bingshuang's face was cold, but her voice was full of meticulous care. After a year of contact, the people who ascended Tiange had already regarded Yefei as their family. If the family has something to do, how can they ignore it? Not long after, half an hour passed quickly, and the last auction began. Yefei, the auctioneer of Dengtian Pavilion, stood out on the crystal platform, causing everyone to cheer. Yefei smiled slightly, turned around and took out a silver plate, then carefully lifted the brocade cloth on the silver plate, and immediately, a dilapidated piece of ancient cloth appeared in everyone's sight. After seeing the broken piece of cloth, the auction house was silent for a while, and then boos were heard. From the audience, could it be that Dengtian Pavilion is crazy, even taking out rags for auction, not to say that each one is a fine product, but no matter how you look at it, it is a rag to wipe your feet. I said Miss Yefei, did you make a mistake? What do you mean by taking out a face cloth? Yes, give us an explanation. There were complaints everywhere in the venue, all of them were puzzled and asked what the reason was. Could it be that Dengtian Pavilion regarded them as leaks? A bit too bullying, huh? However, someone froze in place, staring at the half pattern on the edge of the broken map with trembling eyes. Han Feng wiped his eyes, quite surprised in his heart. He had mentioned this kind of broken map in that old man's mouth. This is not a foot-wiping rag, nor is it broken, but the Jinglian demon fire that ranks third in the strange fire list. As Yao Chen's most valued disciple, Han Feng has also heard about the strange fire from him many times. There is a kind of strange fire in the Douchi continent. It is in the form of milky white fire lotus, a mysterious flame that can purify all things. It has the special effect of purifying all things, anything, as long as it is stained with a little bit, that it will be purified into nothingness. This is number 3 on the strange fire list, Jinglian Yaohua. The pure lotus demon fire can even use human emotions as a guide to enter the body, and the body, soul, and battle chi will be purified into nothingness. The power is extremely terrifying. There are only a few flowers of this kind of strange fire in the world. Yefei smiled and said, don't be impatient, everyone, it must not be some rag to wipe your feet, but the treasure map of the pure lotus demon fire on the different fire list. As soon as these words came out, the audience fell silent. Immediately, it boiled completely. Jinglian Yaohua, it is said that as long as you get this thing, you can unify the entire Douchi continent. I didn't expect it to appear here. End of this chapter. Chapter 46. Furukawa successfully photographed the fragments of the Jinglian demon fire. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Pill King Furukawa didn't expect that this was the map where the Jinglian demon fire was located, so he couldn't help but frowned, and asked softly, Miss Yefei, I don't know if this is the real map. If so, where are the other drawings? Woolen cloth. Yefei said, we are willing to take the reputation of Dengtian Pavilion as a guarantee. If there is any falsehood, we will pay 10 times the compensation. Also, we will try our best to find other remnants, so as to continue the auction. After being affirmed by Dengtian Pavilion, Furukawa also nodded, but he didn't show any happy look. For him, the strange fire was useless. A pharmacist can only have one kind of strange fire in a lifetime. If he wants to continue to get another kind, he must go against the sky. What's more, I didn't get the burned Jew, so I couldn't search for it at all, but everyone focused on looking at Han Feng's position, and their eyes flickered at this moment, like many lightning flashes. How could Jinglian Yaohua, the third in the list of different fires, not arouse their greed? Then the auction will officially begin, with a starting price of 500 million gold coins. As soon as the voice fell, the alchemists began to scramble to snatch it, but the medicine Emperor Han Feng looked dignified. He had spent all his savings in the previous auction of Fenju, and now he is auctioning the remnants of the Jinglian demon fire with many forces. Somewhat impractical, but if you miss it, you don't know when you will get it. Simply, Han Feng shrugged and turned his eyes to the strong man in the Black Horn region beside him. Yuan Yi, the master of the 8 gates, squinted his eyes and said, "Yao Huang, what do you mean by that? Could it be that you still want this fragmented picture? Everyone, be safe and don't be impatient. This picture of the remnant of the pure Lotus demon fire is very valuable. If we can get the strange fire, then our strength will be raised to another stage." Han Feng said with deep eyes, "Besides, everyone knows the importance of different fires to alchemists. If we get it, our Black Horn region will definitely become the strongest in the Northwest continent. But at that time, whatever you want, Han can do it. For you guys." However, these people don't intend to trust Han Feng anymore. If it is a complete map of the Jinglian Yaohua, maybe they can take this opportunity to sell their favors. Thus, in the days to come, more medicinal pills can be obtained, but it's just a remnant map. No one knows how big this map is, and where are the other remnants of the map. It is not clear to spend a lot of gold coins to buy it. Fan Lao, the patriarch of the blood sect, frowned and said, "Yao Huang, it is impossible to determine whether this fragmentary map is the location of the Jinglian demon fire. In my opinion, it is better to give up here. It is really not possible. We can take this opportunity to snatch it. Duki continent among them, killing and stealing goods is just commonplace." The other strong men also nodded. What Suzerain Fan Lao said was not unreasonable. Since there is no money, then use your strength to snatch it. As long as they act cleanly, no one will know that this matter was done by their Black Corner domain. Han Feng sneered in his heart. These guys are really penny pinching, but this is also a way. The strong people in the Black Horn region have been fighting across the mainland for hundreds of years with the mentality of preferring to kill by mistake and never letting go. Now that they have talked about this, they can only do so. Han Feng chose to give up this auction. The price has also reached 1,000 million gold coins. Although the blood is not burning, it can be considered a sky-high price. Anyway, this is an ordinary remnant map, not a complete version of the Jinglian Yaohua map, and it is not clear to spend a lot of gold coins. Xiao Yan clenched his fists. "Teacher, what should we do? We must get the map of Jinglian Yaohua." As Yao Chen's disciple, Xiao Yan naturally recognized that this was the fragment of the Jinglian Yaohua that he was looking for so hard. The only thing he can do now is to get that broken picture, at all costs. Yao Lao said in a low voice, "The secret of this fragmented picture has been exposed. It should be done by Tiange Pavilion on purpose. Given our current situation, it is impossible to conduct an auction. Then what should we do? Could we let this broken map slip away from our eyes?" Xiao Yan gritted his teeth. He was quite unwilling in his heart. Jinglian Yaohua, the third in the different fire list, was an extremely strong existence in terms of combat power and improving Fenju, so giving up like this would be hard for anyone to accept. Yao Chen was also helpless. If he knew this earlier, he should have accumulated more money. He thought that money was a pile of dung for strong people like them. Now it seems that I was wrong. However, after this auction is over, there will inevitably be a bloody battle, and this residual picture may still be a leak. As time went by, the number of bidders began to decrease due to the rising prices, and in the end, there were only 2 people left to compete. Xiao Yan's breathing also became heavy, and he wondered who would get this fragmented picture. At this time, the price has been raised to around, both of these 2 are 5th-rank pharmacists, and they both want to obtain the map of the Jinglian demon fire. This level of strange fire is much stronger than Qinglian's heart fire. Yunyan pursed her red lips. I didn't expect this remnant picture to be auctioned to such a state. Sure enough, the temptation of the strange fire will drive anyone into madness. 2,000 million gold coins. Suddenly, a familiar voice resounded, and everyone's eyes were fixed on the 6th grade pharmacist, Pil King Guha. Even Han Feng couldn't help casting a curious look, but he didn't expect this guy, Guhi, to join in the fun. If Guhi got this remnant map, it would not be so easy to snatch it. The prestige of a 6th-rank pharmacist is quite high. It was not a wise decision to offend the 6th-grade pharmacist, Pil King Furukawa. The 2 5th-rank pharmacists looked at each other and frowned at the same time. If Furukawa got involved, they would have no chance to compete. Pil King Furukawa said indifferently, "You too, my patience is limited, and you are almost touching my bottom line." The 2 5th-rank pharmacists could only shake their heads in disappointment, and finally chose to give up the auction. They didn't want to offend the 6th-rank pharmacist alchemist Furukawa because of a fragment of a picture. Yafei smiled. The two gave up. So is there anyone who continues to increase the price? 2,000 gold coins once. 2,000 gold coins twice. 2,000 million 3 times. Deal. Seeing that the people around her did not continue to increase the price, Yafei slammed the auction hammer vigorously. With the clear and pleasant sound, this auction also ended. Dan Wang Guha stood up, looked towards the 4th floor, bowed his hands immediately, and walked away quickly with Yan Shifeng Li. That it is not a clear move to stay here all the time. The people around can be said to be eyeing, and it is impossible to let him leave like this. End of this chapter. Chapter 47 Sky High Price Auction, Rewards and Lucky Draw. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 47 Sky High Price Auction, Rewarding 10 Consecutive Lucky Draws. Walking out of the auction site slowly, the black-robed boy stood at the door, looked up at the slightly dim sky, and let out a long breath. Today's auction was simply astonishing. Unexpectedly, there would be not only Fenju, but also the maddening fragments of the pure Lotus demon fire, which would be irresistible to any alchemist. Xiao Yan clenched his fists. Teacher, what should we do? Since absorbing the deep-sea blue heart, most of my strength has recovered. It's enough to snatch back that fragmented picture. The corner of Yao Chen's mouth curled up. Will restore about % of his soul. As long as Xiao Yan's body can bear more of his soul power, then even Han Feng, who killed his master and sought power, can easily kill him. Anyway, Yao Chen's strength back then was also in the realm of rank 9 Dou Zun, one step away from becoming a semi-sage. It's okay to kill a villain. Then teacher, let's start. Xiao Yan disappeared in place in an instant. Tonight will be an inevitable battle. After everyone had left, Li Xiao took the gold coin that Ling Long handed over, and after looking at the numbers on it, a smile appeared on Li Xiao's face. Gold coin recovery. The amount recovered this time is 8,000 million gold coins, and the exchange system currency is 28,000 points. A mechanical sound followed. The host page also popped up at this moment. Name, Li Xiao. Race, Terran. Cultivation, 9-star great fighter. Fighting skills, no. Bloodline, Didi bloodline. Subordinates, Ling Long, Niu Meng, Bingshuang, Lianxue. Total assets, 30,000 system coins. Main task, earn 1 billion gold coins within 3 years. Complete rewards, holy gift packs. Current progress, 4. April 10th. Congratulations to the host for auctioning the sky-high price of 5,000 million, and the host will be rewarded with a lottery function. Congratulations to the host for opening the lucky draw function. The lucky draw package is triggered, and the host is rewarded with 10 lucky draw opportunities. This lottery can be single draw or 10 consecutive draws. After 10 draws, you will get a golden legend. Follow-up is still under development. Do not delay the use of the host. Forgive me. The cold voice of the system rang in Li Xiao's mind. Hearing the prompt from the system, Li Xiao was overjoyed. As the time traveler Li Xiao, he naturally understands the benefits of the lottery draw, no matter what it is, and there will be a golden reward in 10 times. In other words, as long as you gather 10 lucky draws, you can get 100% useful auction items. What's more, the things drawn by 10 consecutive draws are much better than those drawn by single draws, and the probability of getting treasures is extremely high. He doesn't believe in the gossip. Li Xiaoyao couldn't wait to open his own system store, searched back and forth on it, and finally found the button in the lower left corner of the task repair, on which there were 2 large characters of lottery clearly written. After opening it, there was something like a turntable inside, with strange rewards reflected on it. Some even said that Li Xiao had never seen it before, for example, some weapons, fighting skills, different fires, elixir, and so on. The value of these things is high or low, according to gold, red, purple, blue, yellow, 5 different colors, corresponding to different things. The gold rewards are naturally quite rich, but according to previous precedents, there is only one gold, but there is one thing he is sure of: the system will not cheat him. What's more, the system is my own thing, and I finally turned on the system's lottery function, which will definitely give me a different point of view. Li Xiao swallowed his saliva, subconsciously rubbed his palms to warm them up, and when the time was right, he pressed the button for 10 consecutive draws forcefully. As the turntable continued to flicker, a sign that skipped the screen appeared in front of him. However, what Li Xiao wanted was a heartbeat, so he wanted to see what the lottery draw would bring him. Something different. It would be even better if you just let yourself skip the novice mission. Congratulations to the host for getting the purple card, Earth level low-level fighting skills, dragon-seeking tactics. Congratulations to the host for getting the yellow card, grade, ice grass. Congratulations to the host for getting the yellow card, mysterious rank fighting skill explosive step. Congratulations to the host for drawing the blue card, mysterious rank fighting skill, bajabang. Congratulations to the host for getting the red card, Earth level advanced fighting skill, Emperor Seal Ju. Congratulations to the host for getting the red card, Earth level exercises, mind-raising skills. Congratulations to the host for getting the golden legend, a 6-turn Dou Zun strongman card, which requires the host to break through the realm of Douhuang to open it. Congratulations to the host for getting a yellow card, a 4th grade elixir. Congratulations to the host for getting the yellow card, 3rd grade Lingqiao 100 beads. Congratulations to the host for drawing a red card, 10th in the alien fire ranking, Jiuyo Feng Yen. Looking at the system rewards in front of him, Li Xiao was also quite satisfied, but he didn't expect to even get something like the Emperor Seal Ju, which was simply unbelievable. Emperor Seal Ju, a high-level fighting skill at the ground level, is said to have been created by a certain fighting emperor in ancient times. There are 5 styles in total: the seal of opening the mountain, the seal of turning the sea, the seal of covering the earth, the seal of obliterating the sky, and the seal of the ancient emperor. The great achievement of the 5 seals has the ability to overwhelm rivers and seas, and devour heaven and earth. At its peak, it was almost as good as a heaven-ranked fighting skill. However, if you want to practice this seal, you must reach the level of Douhuang, otherwise you will fail to practice the seal, and you will suffer yourself. However, compared with the real heaven-level skills, there is still a big gap, but for any force, this fighting skill is definitely like a tiger with wings added. The earth rank is high, and there are not many people in the world who own it. Li Xiao pocketed all of them, and his gaze stayed on the rank, Dou Zun peak card. This is his favorite, the Dou Zun strongman. Rank 6 Dou Zun is only 4 steps away from Ban Sheng. Presumably even if there is a Dou Zun strong coming, there is no chance to cause trouble here. However, in order to evolve it, one needs to reach the realm of the Douhuang himself. Judging from the current situation, breaking through the Douhuang should be just around the corner. Li Xiao has already touched the threshold of Douling, and the breakthrough is only a matter of time. There are less than 2 years left to complete the mission, but it is nowhere near 1 billion. If there are no more gold coins, I am afraid that the novice mission will be missed. Thinking of this, Li Xiao stroked his forehead. He needs more things to auction. Although there are many treasures in the system, they basically need to be bought with money. As a businessman, how could he trade at a loss? Whoring for nothing is my favorite. With the current strength of Tiange Pavilion, it can be regarded as the top overlord in the entire northwest continent. In memory, the fragments of the Jinglian demon fire are hidden in the Great Tagore Desert. Among them, there is another Qinglian Earth Heart Fire. The Qinglian Earth Heart Fire auctioned by Li Xiao was rewarded by the system, and the local flames were not collected, so you can continue to prostitute for nothing. End of this chapter. Chapter 48 Ice Emperor Haibodong. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Thinking of this, Li Xiao decided to go to the Great Tagore Desert to obtain fragments of the heavenly fire and the pure lotus demon fire, so that they can be used in the next auction, or sell it to Queen Medusa of the snake-human race. The corner of Li Xiao's mouth curled up, and he immediately called Lianxue over to have an in-depth exchange with her, which was considered a reward for himself. The next morning, after waking up, Li Xiao explained the things here, and then went to the depths of the Tagore Desert with Lianxue to look for the footprints of the strange fire. The main reason why she has Lianxue is that she possesses an extremely rare ice-snow attribute grudge. Within 10 feet of Lianxue's body, she is extremely cool. In a ghostly place like the Great Tagore Desert, there is a walking Dou Zun ice cellar, which can be described as comfortable to go to heaven. The Great Tagore Desert is sparsely populated, and there are many monsters. Only some mercenary regiments are stationed here, and there are very few civilians. Moreover, the Great Tagore Desert is the largest desert in the Gemai Empire, located in the eastern province. Although it is rich in resources, the harsh environment is still unacceptable. 2 cities were established in the Tagore Desert, namely Macheng and Shimicheng. Macheng is located in the Tagore Desert in the eastern province, and the city lord is a strong 9-star fighting king. After 2 days of rushing, the 2 people and the 2 beasts finally arrived at their destination, the Tagore Desert. The desert is full of gobi. Except for some low-level monsters, there is basically no life to see. Fortunately, there is Lianxue, otherwise the amethyst-winged lion king would not be able to drive in the harsh environment all the time. The temperature difference between day and night in the desert is huge. The temperature at noon is as high as degrees, and at night, the temperature will drop to tens of degrees below zero, just like the coming of winter, freezing meat. Lianxue stood up from the monster, looked into the distance, and said softly, "Lord Pavilion Master, I feel a strange aura. It should be the strong snake-human race you mentioned." Oh. Hearing that, Li Xiao raised his eyebrows. How far is it from us? That he does not have a map of the Great Tagore Desert, nor does he know where he is currently. Lianxue replied, "Thousands of kilometers away from us. I can only feel a subtle breath, but I can decide that it is the Douhuang strongmen of the snake-human race, and there are 4 elders of the snake-human race. They are all at the Douhuang peak." As expected of a Dou Zun powerhouse, to feel the aura of Douhuang powerhouse from such a long distance is really outrageous. However, currently Li Xiao has no plans to go to the snake-human clan, but to look for the fragments of the Jinglian demon fire, and make plans after obtaining Qinglian's heart fire. After being reminded by Lianxue, the 2 finally came to the outskirts of the Great Tagore Desert, where a small desert shop stood. There was a cool air around the shop. Although it was not as refreshing as Lianxue showed, it is considered a good natural place. The amethyst-winged lion king slowly landed on the ground, lying on the ground, and immediately let the pavilion master jump off him safely. Li Xiao jumped off the amethyst-winged lion king, straightened his clothes, swept out the yellow sand in his arms, and shook his head helplessly. The desert is such a ghostly place, it is really suffocating. Lianxue smiled softly, and personally helped the pavilion master tidy up his clothes. There is no need to complain anymore. The desert is just like this. If you don't like it, your subordinates can turn a 10-mile radius into a world of ice and snow. It doesn't have to be. Li Xiao shrugged his shoulders and said, "I haven't reached the stage of fanfare yet. Besides, we are here for Remnant map. Let's go. The old gentleman inside can't wait any longer." Yes. Lianxue followed the pavilion master into the shop. The room is not big, but it is extraordinarily tidy. There are many scrolls on the side cabinet. You don't need to think about it. This should be the map of the Great Tagore Desert, and behind the counter was an old man who was carefully making a map with his head bowed. This old man is obviously quite old, but although his head is covered with white hair, the withered palm holding the drawing black pen is still strong and strong. When he felt that someone was coming here, the old man not only did not move, but said indifferently, "The map is over there, go find it yourself." Li Xiao didn't speak. Both of them hid their strengths, and it was naturally impossible for the other party to see their realm. After searching for several times, Lianxue finally came up with the remnant picture of the Jinglian demon fire in the most hidden place of the cabinet, but Li Xiao, who is a traveler, naturally knew that this remnant picture was perfectly divided into 2 halves, and one part was still there. In the hands of this old gentleman, Li Xiao picked up the remnant picture and came to the counter, and said softly, "Old man, how about we make a deal?" That the old man in blue raised his head, and when he saw the fragmented picture in Li Xiao's hand, he said with disdain, "This fragmented picture is not for sale, don't think about the fragments, I don't care about money, and don't sell it either. Any idea of robbery will do you no good." Same words, same place, but it is said to different people. Li Xiao smiled softly. "What the old man said is different, I just want to negotiate a deal with you, don't be so nervous. Besides, you are the Ice Emperor, so you don't need to do this." As soon as these words came out, the temperature in the room dropped dozens of times in an instant, and a powerful shock wave burst out in an instant. Not only that, at a speed visible to the naked eye, a circle of icy blue grudge surrounded the old man's body. The Ice Emperor, one of the top 10 experts in the Jia Ma Empire, even fought against 2 fighting emperor experts with his own strength at his peak. His strength can be said to be terrifying. Haibodong said coldly, "Who are you? I haven't left the Tagore desert for decades. How do you know who I am?" Accompanied by a stern shout, a chill that slowed down the movements of others instantly enveloped the entire room. "The master of Dengtian Pavilion, Li Xiao." Haibodong frowned. He had never heard of the master of the Dengtian Pavilion, nor had he met Li Xiao. Although he couldn't feel any fighting energy fluctuations in him, he was sure that the opponent's strength was not superior to his own, otherwise, it would have been snatched long ago. "Boy, you still have this background, but as I said just now, I won't sell this residual picture," Li Xiao said softly. "What if I can exchange what you want?" Haibodong sneered in his heart. "Exchange, with a guy like this, he can't come up with any good things. If you want to play wild here, you found the wrong place." "Ha!" Haibodong, the Ice Emperor, snorted coldly and said, "I got this thing with great effort back then, and the secrets contained in it are definitely not small. I want me to hand it over to you for no reason, dreaming." As soon as the words fell, dozens of glaciers suddenly swept towards Li Xiao's position. End of this chapter. Chapter 49 turns out to be a strong Dou Zun. You are listening at novelfull.audio. However, just when Haibodong thought he had succeeded, all the glaciers he released unexpectedly stagnated strangely. The Ice Emperor paused, turned his head suddenly to look at the beautiful woman beside Li Xiao, and said in a surprised voice, "You can actually control my fighting spirit. Who are you guys?" As a Douhuang powerhouse, Haibodong could naturally feel that his fighting spirit was being swallowed up. He had never met a person of this level before. Obviously, these two people had quite high status. Lianxue said indifferently, "Dare to hurt Lord Pavilion Master, die." After all the glaciers of the previous Ice Emperor reversed and attacked, and the speed and power were countless times higher than before. "Swear, show mercy." Li Xiao reminded, "If he doesn't remind, I'm afraid Lianxue will kill Haibodong." Haibodong, the Ice Emperor, also felt an unprecedented sense of oppression. He naturally knew that this woman's power was extremely terrifying. If she didn't resist, her life might be in danger. Thinking of this, Haibodong's eyes suddenly turned cold. He quickly gathered all his battle energy in his hands, and immediately summoned a shield made of ice cubes. However, Haibodong still underestimated Lianxue's strength too much. The moment the glacier collided with the shield, Haibodong's body stepped back a few steps, and began to shatter at a speed visible to the naked eye. There was a crisp bang. The ice cubes shattered completely, the splashed fragments also scratched Haibodong's old cheek, and hot blood also flowed down. Ice Emperor Haibodong's eyes widened, touched the blood on his face, and said angrily, "Who the hell are you guys?" "Li Xiao Dao," I said, "Old man, we are here to negotiate terms." The corner of Haibodong's mouth twitched, and he said angrily, "No matter if you are the descendant of the Yunlan sect master or the young master of several big families, it is impossible to leave here today with this fragmented picture." Lianxue sneered. She dared to boast at this time, with the little white and flawless feet lightly stepping on the desert. The originally extremely hot sand froze into ice in an instant, and any living thing here was frozen into ice sculptures. Haibodong was taken aback, and subconsciously swallowed his saliva. Haibodong's pupils narrowed slightly, and he said in astonishment, this amazing deterrent force, how is this possible? There seems to be no one in the entire Jia Ma Empire except my ice attribute fighting spirit. Impossible. This kind of extremely terrifying ice attribute grudge is definitely not like the style of those forces. Haibodong's face was serious, he didn't expect to meet such terrifying people today. Lianshue's vindictiveness completely crushed his own vindictiveness, and even said that there was a feeling of devouring in his body. The Ice Emperor Haibodong knew that he could no longer hide. Otherwise it would be very difficult to keep these two guys here today. Thinking of this, Haibodong's pupils suddenly narrowed. Regardless of Sanchi 21, he immediately raised his dry hands, and at the same time as his fighting spirit circulated, he held them slightly, and the surrounding icy mist quickly condensed, and finally solidified into an ice gun with a whole body of ice blue. After condensing his fighting chi into an ice spear, Haibodong still felt a little unsafe. He quickly formed a seal with one hand, and then said softly, "Ice spirit armor," that with the sound of drinking, the surrounding icy mist immediately formed a pair of thick ice armor shining with icy luster on the old man's body. "Woman, you really pissed off this old man. It's been a long time since no one can treat me with all my strength. Today, none of you want to leave here." Noisy. Lianshue's fingers moved slightly, and the originally scorching desert was suddenly darkened, and heavy snow fell around her. How is this possible? Only then did Haibodong realize that something was wrong. This woman actually changed the world. Could it be that she is a strong Dou Zun? But he didn't want to believe that this girl was only in her teens. How could she have the strength of Dou Zun realm? Xianbing kills. There was a crackling sound from the bones of Haibodong's body, and a powerful fighting spirit burst out in an instant. "I've never felt so refreshed, little girl. Come on, let the old man take a look. How much weight do you have?" Li Xiao stood with his hands behind his back, looking at the several ice dragons in the air. He couldn't help feeling the strength of the Ice Emperor Haibodong, who didn't expect to be able to unleash such terrifying fighting skills when his realm fell to the fighting spirit realm. Haibodong pushed forward with both hands, and all the ice dragons rushed towards Lianshue's position like crazy. Lianshue looked at the ice dragon rushing towards him with disdain on her face. How could a mere first-order Douling fight against Dou Zun, hit an egg against a rock? I saw her slowly raise a finger, and press it down lightly. Haibodong thought that this woman had given up, but he didn't expect that his strongest fighting skill would be shattered in an instant, and finally turned into a mass of fragments, scattered all over the floor. Fighting skills were broken. Haibodong's whole body hit the ground like a cannonball, but he didn't get any substantial damage. Otherwise, Haibodong would have died long ago with the previous blow. Lianshue said, "My lord has told me that I won't kill you." Haibodong stood up with difficulty, his expression turned pale. "You, who the hell, why do you have such terrifying power?" "I Lianshue, this is my pavilion master. My venerable." Haibodong's eyes widened suddenly. She actually called herself a venerable. Could it be that this person is really a strong fighting venerable? Li Xiao strode over, looked at the old man with disheveled hair, and smiled slightly. As one of the top 10 experts in the Jia Ma Empire, the Haibodong people are not bad. They value love and righteousness. Not only helped Xiao Yan fight against the Misty Cloud sect back then, but also helped him do many things. That's why Li Xiao didn't let Lianshue kill him. Haibodong stood up and said, "I didn't expect this old man to have been hidden in the desert for many years, and I didn't expect to be found. Back then I met the strong snake-human race, Queen Medusa." Haibodong's eyes flashed with a complex expression. "You must know that Queen Medusa is the top-ranked existence among the fighting emperors. I failed without a doubt, and got her snake-sealing curse. The strength is sealed at the fighting spirit level." Li Xiao said softly, "So, this is the beginning of the transaction between us, Mr. Hai. You should still have a small residual map in your hand." Haibodong squinted his eyes. How could this guy know that he still has a fragment of the fragmented map? Could it be that he can read minds? Thinking of this, Haibodong frowned. Could it be that these two people are from the Zhongzhou continent? How could it be possible to reach the Dou Zun realm at such a young age? "Okay," Haibodong stroked his mustache and said, "If your excellency can take out the elixir I need, I will hand over this fragmented picture to you, and this old man can do 3 things for you. 3 things that do not violate the principles. This is the most precious thing I can take out. End of this chapter. Chapter 50 Haibodong who restored the Douhuang. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The favor of Douhuang is indeed worth the price. Haibodong shrugged. What I need is a 6th grade elixir. If little brother can give it to me, let alone map fragments, I will tell you the location of the strange fire in the desert. Li Xiao said softly, okay, no problem. Hearing this sentence, Haibodong's expression froze. He didn't expect that the little brother didn't hesitate, and directly agreed to his request. It made Haibodong feel a little bit surprised. The elixir he needed was called Pur Pill, which was ranked at the 6th rank. It could break the seal and have a chance to avoid the next seal. Li Xiao searched in the system, and finally found this elixir in the most hidden place, and the price was only a little system currency, equivalent to gold coins. He didn't talk nonsense, and directly threw the Pur Pill into Haibodong's arms. This is the Pur Pill you need, and I happen to have a pill here. Ice Emperor Haibodong raised his eyebrows, carefully looked at the Pur Pill in his hand, with doubts on his face. He was not an alchemist, and he didn't know if this was the pill he needed. If it was poison, I'm afraid his own life is not guaranteed. Haibodong was naturally vigilant, so naturally he couldn't eat food from strangers. If something happened, it might be too late to regret it. Li Xiao seemed to see what Haibodong was thinking, and said with a smile, don't worry, Mr. Hai, since I can take out this evil-breaking pill, I can't deceive you. Besides, I want to kill you, so I need to use it as this pill. Hearing this, Haibodong nodded his head slightly. What he said was not unreasonable. If Li Xiao wanted to kill him, he would have let this girl kill him just now. After pondering for a while, Haibodong also decided to smash the jar, and said, then good little brother, I'll eat it first. If it has any effect, I won't break my promise. Please. Haibodong made a gesture of invitation, and several people returned to the room. Because of the effect of Pur Pill, he decided to go to his secret room to make a breakthrough. Watching Haibodong enter the secret room, Li Xiao was not worried about him resuming the Douhuang to counterattack. With Lian Xue around, even if everyone in the Tagore desert gathered together, they couldn't be Xuer's opponent. Besides, Haibodong is not the kind of person who breaks his promise. If he can be included in the Ascension Pavilion, he will also get the full help of the middle family in the future, so as to get more gold coins. Time passed by minute. I don't know how long it has passed. Suddenly there was a loud noise in the basement, and a powerful ice attribute grudge also spread out from the door of the secret room. Li Xiao, who was drinking tea, turned his head and smiled when he felt the cold. It seemed that Haibodong had succeeded. The stone door opened. The Ice Emperor Haibodong's appearance has changed at this moment. His originally scrawny body has been filled with Dou Qi. Apart from the silvery white hair, Haibodong's appearance is also decades younger. The whole person has a heroic feeling. After Haibodong felt the aura in his body, he also laughed loudly. This damned seal is finally gone, and I'm a Douhuang strongman again. At this moment, the Ice Emperor's aura surged, as if he was about to rush up to kill Li Xiao in the next second. This kid has a 6th grade elixir at this age. This kind of genius can only be friends with him, not an enemy. There is also that strong Dou Zun. If I do it, I'm afraid I will definitely die. Haibodong chuckled. Little brother, I heard that you are the master of the Tiange Pavilion, so this fragmentary picture is yours. Having said that, Haibodong handed the remnant picture to Li Xiao, and asked, seeing that the master of the pavilion likes this remnant picture very much, he should know something. I don't know what is in this picture. Those who are also attracted. Li Xiao Dao, Elder Hai doesn't need to think too much. You don't have the ability to spy on this matter, you just need to know that your seal has been broken. Ha. Haibodong laughed out loud. He was indeed the master of the Tiange Pavilion, and his reputation was indeed well deserved, but being able to use a Dou Zun to search for it must not be a good thing. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the fragments of the pure Lotus demon fire. Every time you collect all the fragments, you can cache them. After all the fragments are collected, you can get a complete map of the pure Lotus demon fire. Hearing the system's reminder, Li Xiao was overjoyed. No wonder there are many treasures in the system store that are locked by Xiao by lock, so it was opened like this. it seems that as long as he gets rid of all the fragments, he can get a complete map of the Jinglian demon fire, so he doesn't care who can get it. I just need to get all of them together and auction them off." Li Xiao smiled. "Why not do two things with one stone?" Ice Emperor Haibodong also took out the location of the strange fire. This is the map of Qinglian's inner fire. Where there is a different fire and where there is no, he has carried out investigations, therefore, his map can play a big role. "Old Hai, I'm leaving here now. If you've been here all this time, wait here for me." The Ice Emperor Haibodong nodded. He still wanted to count on Li Xiao to help him recover his strength. Although he had recovered to the realm of the Douhuang, his cultivation was still unable to move forward. If he hadn't been sealed, he might already be 9-star Douhuang. Thinking of this, Ice Emperor Haibodong showed a look of pain on his face, especially when he saw the necklace in his hand. His heart ached with sadness. Unknowingly, so many years have passed. If she is still there, perhaps, the two of them can really live together forever. Seeing Li Xiao's leaving back, Haibodong packed up all the maps, and waited for him to return before recovering his strength as soon as possible. "Get out of here," Lianxue asked curiously. "Master Pavilion Master, we only need to extract his memory for that fragmented picture." "Why do you want to help a little Douhuang?" Li Xiao, who was lying on the back of the amethyst-winged Lion King, replied. "This person's name is Haibodong, one of the top 10 powerhouses in the Jia Ma Empire, and the world calls him the Ice Emperor. Although he only has the realm of the Fighting Emperor, but he is honest, he does what he says, and he is a good friend. Furthermore, Haibodong holds all the funds of the middle family of the Jia Ma Empire. If we can make friends with him, won't the future resources come at any time?" Lianxue covered her mouth and smiled. The owner of the pavilion likes to joke. The total income of the middle family is only a few million gold coins a year, which is not as valuable as the things that Dengtian Pavilion sells in a day. From her point of view, the pavilion master is just a little girl who misses others. "My lord, we are about to enter the depths of the Great Tagore Desert. There are not a few monsters here." Lianxue reminded softly that, as a Dou Zun strongman, her soul power can cover a distance of hundreds of miles, and she can even vaguely feel the breath thousands of miles away. End of this chapter.